another triple threat match for another men's championship. So the second three-way of the night for one of the three men's championships that the same company features, Lashley has already put Drew McIntyre out flat with the hurt lock, as I recall, and Strowman is the drizzling tits. So this should be brilliant. McIntyre and Strowman and Lashley. Poor Bobby Lashley. In this match, we started out with one of the baby faces helping the heel beat up the other baby face and then turning around and jumping on the heel. And then the announcers remind us that it's no disqualification and no countouts. Lazy booking. Again, how many was that? Now, the first match, there was no count out, no disqualification. There's no time limit on any match anymore, so you can't say no time limit, no disqualification. First one, no DQ, no count out. Second one, no DQ, no count out. Third one, well, zombies. So anything goes. And then fourth match I skipped. So I don't know if it was no DQ or no count out. And then the fifth match, no DQ, no count out. They started doing shit to each other. And they did shit to each other back and forth. Just a mess. Just moves. Apply what I said to the previous three-way. You can't follow this shit. Nobody can cheat because there's no rules. Nobody's the real baby face here because the baby faces are fucking with each other, and there's only one heel, so the heel's outnumbered. Drew McIntyre has all the assets and all the tools, but they've stopped and started him to death. He beats Brock Lesnar, and then he gets beat before the end of the year, and then he wins it back, and then blah, blah, blah. Blown Strowman. I say that because he always looks blown up even when he's not doing anything. Did you see him dive off the apron onto Lashley and McIntyre and dove headfirst between the two of them and almost landed on the concrete floor on his own head? And he was in control of all of that. He actually dove headfirst and tucked his head to make sure he went more headfirst to the floor. One of the baby faces bashed the heel with the steel stairs. And then the other baby face beat the heel up on the fucking stage. I felt so sorry for Bobby Lashley. And then McIntyre throws Lashley through an electric light board, and they do the special effects with the flashes and zaps. So now the heel has been electrocuted by the baby face. And the announcer, God damn it. It was pretty impressive on the special effects. You had to, when he got thrown through the thing and all the zaps and everything, well, shit, it wasn't like an AEW exploding ring. It actually looked like it was fairly plausible. And one of the announcers pops in and says, well, the last time that happened, we didn't see Bobby Lashley for weeks. So the last time that he got electrocuted and thrown through the same exact place, he was gone for weeks. So if you hadn't seen the before, which I hadn't, I don't remember it, then at least you would think that this one that just happened was shocking to you if it happens regularly, apparently, to Lashley. Now the two baby faces are left having a no disqualification fight for a title that neither one of them holds. Did I get that about right?
Yes.
So the two baby faces are tearing each other up to be the first one to beat the other one so that they can win a championship that neither one of them holds to begin with. And old blown Strowman tried his choo-choo, but McIntyre caught him and belly-to-bellied him on the floor, and he took and I'm not a fan of floor bumps to begin with, but if you're going to take one, but he took a rolling belly-to-belly overhead throw into a rolling bump, and the announcer said, oh my God. But then So McIntyre took care of old Strowman, and then Strowman picks McIntyre up, catches him as he's jumping, and power bombed him through the announce desk right onto the back of his head on the floor. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
He didn't drop him on the length of the table from the end where he would have a place to land and go. He, from the front to the back with a power bomb move, he threw him over the table. The table collapsed because it was gimmicked. And then McIntyre landed on the other side of the table on the back of his head with his feet up over the top of his face. Good God. And the fake crowd noise went insane. And probably so did everybody in McIntyre's immediate family. They think this fucking big idiot's going to kill him. And then McIntyre hits the kick on Braun Strowman because now Lashley's been gone for a while. But then suddenly, as McIntyre hits the kick on Strowman, Lashley appears without a mark on him. He's not burned. He's not busted open. I wouldn't say his hair's standing on end from being electrocuted. He's bald, but there's no evidence of electrocution, or electrification. Or no evidence of elocution in this delivery that I'm... See there? We'll bring it back to a linguistic fucking manner in a second. But anyway, and he hit a spear on Lashley. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Or hit a spear on Strowman, rather. 1, 2, 3. There is almost nothing about the WWE product, the AEW product, or really anything that resembles professional wrestling anymore, because the people on the independents and the kids getting in the business are watching these shows to learn how to do this. But then they can't even do this. They can't figure out how to. This is the biggest company in the world with the most experienced people, allegedly. And this is what they're doing. And then when the jackoffs and the outlaws and the mud show goofs and the, hey kids, let's put on a show bunch, try to copy this, they don't even copy it that well. And over the last however many years, this is what we've ended up with, is almost nothing about any of this looks like professional wrestling anymore. I don't know. What'd you think of the second three-way for one of the 3 men's championships involving 2 baby faces and 1 heel?
Well, let me just clarify, because it was a little confusing the way you said it. Lashley pinned Strowman to retain the championship.
Yes, I'm saying McIntyre hit a kick on Strowman, but then Lashley reappeared, as I said, without a mark on him, hit a spear on Strowman, and boom, there you go.
I'm not a big fan of these 3-way matches. Like you said, someone always has to disappear.
I wish they'd even give us something different and bad that we can talk about instead of having to say the same things about the same bad things.
I will say Lashley and MVP, I wish I hadn't broken up the Hurt Business, but Lashley and MVP, now that is something that could have worked anywhere.
Yeah.
MVP talks and you believe him. He doesn't seem like he's rehearsed or he's just saying lines. Lashley looks like a star. He's never looked this good as a wrestling star. And the suit, just great look. McIntyre, my big lasting thing with McIntyre, now that we've watched several of his matches over the past few months, how ridiculous it is him coming out with the sword. And he holds the sword over his head, and then is there a little insert in the stage for him to stab the sword?
Yes, yeah.
What the hell is this? But anyway. Those are my only other thoughts. Not a big fan of the 3-way. The next match I loved. This match, not so much.
Well, and that's the thing. I would love to see Lashley against... I'd even watch Lashley against McIntyre again, even after that flat finish the last time, or whatever. But just... Poor Lashley, as I said, he can't get any heat here because he's a heel that's not only against 2 baby faces, so he's got the numerical disadvantage, but also the fact that, to be honest, Lashley is the best performer of the bunch here, and that stands out because Strowman is the shits. And as we mentioned, Drew, they would have cared, but they don't care now because they didn't finish what they started with him. I'd like to see Lashley against somebody fucking else. But I love Lashley and MVP.
Lashley and MVP are great. However, after this night, maybe I've been underrating him, but Roman Reigns is really one of the very best. He is fantastic.